Retro Rob plays everything.
Hey gamers, Retro Rob here. Today we're going to be talking about my Atari 5200 collection. I never owned the 5200 back in the day, so this is a game system I discovered much later in life. It is the sequel, of course, to the famous Atari 2600 and came out before the Atari 7800. Graphically, it had pretty decent graphics capabilities, pretty equal to the ColecoVision that it was largely made to compete with, had pretty decent sound. The thing that really kind of sunk the 5200, of course, was the controller. Number one, they were analog, where it was popular to have a digital controller on a console at the time. Computers did have these, but you know what? Most of us disliked them anyway, and a lot of the analog controllers of that day actually had a little switch on the back so you could make them a little bit stiffer so they would self-center. And of course, these don't really self-center, they just kind of float all over the place. Though I heard later editions of this controller did do that. They're very prone to breakage. In fact, I have more than one boxed Atari 5200 controller in case it breaks down. But there were a pretty decent number of, good games that came out for it, and I think that after you see my little itty bitty collection, you're gonna say to yourself, the Atari 5200, that it was a game system. Let's get started. Alright folks, so here is my 5200. I do have two of them. I've also got a 4-port model, which was the other model of this. I prefer the 2-port model. In the 4-port model, the video out and the power actually go through the same cord, which is kind of a unique way to do it, but I prefer them to be separate because I think the video quality is a little bit better. I might just be fooling myself, but on this one they're separate, so I do like that. One thing to look for on these is keep an eye out on this lid. They like to crack a lot. Mine is not. That's kind of a rare thing. Also, they may well be missing. The really nice thing about this cover, of course, is you can put the two controllers in and close it up and you had a really sleek looking set. There's the on-off button. It's freaking huge. This thing is so big. And it has a power light here, and it's inside the system. It's on right now and you can't see it. It's really pretty dim. But anyway, I think it's a pretty attractive looking system. It's just freaking huge. It's bigger than my Xbox, and that's like crazy. Anyway, this is what the controller looks like. Got a start, a pause, and a reset. 2 buttons on the side, 2 buttons on this side. So it can be a right or left-handed controller. A lot of times, I'm gonna take this off even though I'm gonna get some people yelling about it, but it looks horrible now. It's been peeling for years. These often, that plastic that I just pulled off, gets kind of melded onto the controller. It makes it look really bad, so that's something to look for on them. Also, these keypads love to fail. And this one's a really clean one, and it's probably 50-50 whether I'm gonna have to clean this before I actually play a game. But it's an attractive looking controller. It's just not, super reliable, especially now. Before I get going with my actual collection, I thought I would just show you a couple games so you have an idea of what they look like on this system. And this one's Pengo, which is really nice, honestly. So I'm gonna hit the start button here and start the game. The sound is really good. And wait. Yeah. My button's not working. Hold on. There we go. And it looks really good. I think the graphics are nice on this. I think the sound's really good. This is a very good version of Pengo. And my controller's centering right now, so I wonder if this is one of the later ones. But this is actually snapping back to center, so... I think I'm going to use this controller from now on. Yeah, it worked pretty well. Here we have Kix. It's spelled Q-I-X, but pronounced Kix.
Absolutely wrong. It is pronounced Quix.
And basically what I'm trying to do is fill in 65% of the screen with the blue. And I do that by like basically sealing off areas. I got 1 more percent. Oh, come on. There we go. Got it. This was a favorite of mine in the arcades. We used to have an arcade that was inside, well, it wasn't really inside Shopko, but there was a mall attached to Shopko, which is was a popular big box type of store like Walmart or Target in the US here. But anyway, they had an arcade there, and I used to play this game regularly in it, and I really enjoyed it. And this is a really good version of it. I mean, it's fun to play. Oh, go. There we go. And it's pretty faithful to the arcade original. It's good stuff. Here is Moon Patrol, and it is one of the games that convinced me that the 5200 is really not that bad. This is a really nice version of Moon Patrol. The only real difficulty is that because of the location of the buttons, it's kind of hard to fire. But other than that, it's a really good conversion and pretty close to the arcade original. And I like it quite a bit. Nice sound too. Ooh, jump it. Very often what I do is I just take my hand off of the second button, or my finger off the second button, and then switch to the first. There we go. Point C. Oh! Alright, let's go on and take a look at my collection. Oh, that was bad. Alright, here's the first thing we're going to take a look at in my 5200 collection. I showed you this a little bit earlier, but I didn't go into any depth at all. Not that I'm going to go into real heavy depth here, but I did want to show you the looks of the box. And this is the 5200 controller, of course, and it's amazing box. I had to take out the controller in this box to do the video, because I never unpack the ones that are inside the unit. But neat looking little box. Nothing super exciting about it, but I think it looks nice. And I've got 2 of those. I think I have about 6 or 7 5200 controllers total. And I end up cleaning them, I don't know, at least once a year. I'm just going to show you the 3 that I've already played in front of you right away. Here is Moon Patrol. I do love the covers for these. I like the silver, and I kind of like the artwork. And on Kix especially, and I'll show you that, I like the way they made the artwork pop a little bit. On the back there is a storage space for overlays, and I think I probably have a couple of them, and I'll show you them if I do. Next, there's how Kix looks, and that's the one. It's got kind of this, see how it's just kind of popping out of there? That's some really good artwork there. I think it looks really nice. And then Pango, which is a great game on the 5200. Alright, let's look at some other ones. And here we have Joust, which again kind of lies between the 2600 and 7800 versions of the game. Graphically, kind of hard to play with this controller though, so might be one you want to skip go if you are looking just to collect the best of the 5200. Next we have Centipede, which is a pretty fun game. If you've never played it, it's a little bit like a Space Invaders type of game, except of course you're supposed to be killing a centipede and spiders and all the other horrible things in your garden. It's a pretty good game really, and it was popular in the arcades in the 80s. Next we've got the original Mario Brothers by Nintendo. This is back when Nintendo would license out games to other companies, and they did license it for the 5200. It's kind of a hard way to play it. Platformers aren't really the best on the 5200. Shooters tend to do a little bit better, but if your joystick centers, you can probably get away with that game. Next, of course, we have Star Raiders, and this is Atari's answer to, what was it, Star Master. And on the 2600, you had a little extra keypad that you played it with, but of course on the 5200 you have it built in. Oh, here we go. There is, oops, it's upside down. There we go. There is one of those overlays. Pretty cool, right? Nice. All right, next we're gonna look at my box stuff. There isn't a whole lot of it, but I think it's interesting. Here is River Raid. I have a really hard time getting box stuff in good condition on the 5200, but it is a pretty nice version of the game. It definitely looks prettier than the 2600 version, so good thing there. It's just, I believe, the cartridge in here. Yeah, it is just the cartridge, and there's a cartridge for it. And this is the way Activision cartridges looked on the system. They're kind of reminiscent of the 2600, but not like exactly like it. Here's something interesting that they did, and this is something we used to do. It just fell out of the bottom. Anyway, there's their high scores. The original owner's high scores on there, and that's something we used to do. My uncle and I had a notebook that we used to keep all our high scores on. Pretty cool. And here we have a Parker Brothers game, Q*bert, for the Atari 5200. Parker Brothers made a number of games for the 5200, including Frogger, which was, really pretty bad. I don't have it anymore. I must have got rid of it the first time I got rid of the 5200, but yeah, that game was pretty awful. It was among the first games I played for the 5200 and gave me a pretty bad impression, but fortunately, a lot of these games helped it. This one's not terrible, and it looks quite nice. Let's take a look at the cartridge really quick, because it does have that unique Parker Brothers look to it. And then we'll just check out the warranty, because, you know, it's got a warranty. I want them to honor that. Let's keep going on. Another game in the quite nice category of Atari 5200 games. It's trackball compatible. I really should get the 5200 trackball. That'd be pretty cool. But anyway, here we have Galaxian, and graphically, pretty nice little game. And plays just wonderfully. And here we go. There is the cartridge itself. If your 5200 controller can do this, and this, then this game is going to be fun for you. However, if it just drifts and stays to the side, don't bother with this. It's going to be way too hard. However, with the right controller, Pac-Man's pretty darn good. This is what the cartridge looks like. The ghosts look a little weird though. Just saying. Okay, on to the last game in my collection, and probably the rarest of them. And for my final game, we have Miner 2049er starring Bounty Bob. And this is by Big 5 Software. Kind of a rare game, not super rare, but it is kind of a rare game. You don't see it very often. Mine's a little beat up and worse for the wear, like many of my games are, but it is a truly amazing game on here if, and that is a big if, your controller will still auto-center, or does auto-center. If it doesn't, it's going to be a little bit harder to play. But with a self-centering joystick, it's really, really a great game. For the record, this looks nothing like what they're showing on the back of the box. The game looks nothing like this. It looks like this. And I think the back of the box really did a disservice to the game by making it look a little bit more dull than it really is. It's a good looking game. It's very attractive for the 5200. And, you know, honestly, it's attractive on every platform, but no, the back of the box just doesn't look as good. Anywho, another thing I want to show you about this is the cartridge, because the cartridge is really cool. Look at that big red cartridge. That is really, really nice. As far as I know, this is the only 5200 cartridge that's like this, that has like a special color. Anybody know of any other ones? Let me know in the comments down below, but I'm pretty sure this is the only one. But that's about it. And there it is, my Atari 5200 game collection. One game that I really mean to get is Space Dungeon for it, so I'm definitely going to be looking for that one. But if you do have any other games you think I should pick up that are great, by the way, not because they're so bad, but because they're great, please do me a favor and let me know in the comments down below, and I'm going to try and collect it. I want to thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.